What's up, everybody? Alex here, and welcome to the Dota Underlords Best Builds of the Week, the weekly series where I show you guys top 5 meta builds to help you rank up in Dota Underlords. Now, this week we're starting with Mages, Warriors, and Spirits, because first of all, I do think Spirits are top tier still, and the other thing is that right now, with the changes to the shop and the draft pool, it's extremely important that you have builds that you can transition in and out of depending on what is being contested and what is not being contested. For instance, let's just say Tidehunter is being hyper contested in your game and you're not able to pull. No problem. You know what you do? You can put in someone like Tiny if you have him from the early game, which is totally a-okay, or you can literally just break up the warrior bonus, which sucks, I get it, but put in another Earth Spirit. If Earth Spirit's not contested, it's just going to allow you to Delta Slam more, okay? Slardar, never contested. One of my favorite units of the game, never contested. No one likes Slardar except me. If you're finding that there's no contention for mages, you can go to 6 mages. You can. Get rid of Slardar, right? Go to 6 mages. Get rid of the extra Storm Spirit. Get rid of Ember if you want to go right to 6 mages. But anyways, there's tons of versatility with this build, and it's extremely important that you are very responsive to what your opponents are doing, because you need to make sure you're going after uncontested units. Because if you don't pull Keeper of the Light, and your opponents do because mages are contested, your game's done. That's a 6th place finish. You're over, right? So it's very important that you keep an eye on the shop and you make decisions based on, what is available to you. If you can't get Keeper of the Light, get Morphling in there. Right, get Morphling in there and focus more on the spirit side of things. It's a very versatile build and one that you can depend on as you move into this ever-shifting meta. And for the second build of the week, what we've got here is we've got Knights, Healers, and Warlocks. And guys, there are a couple key things you need to know about this build, namely your 2 primary damage carries, Sven and Luna. You need to take care of them, and it's important that you get a Moonshard on Sven and you get a Mask of Madness on Luna if possible. It's extremely important that you also protect your units whenever possible with Omni Knight and Abaddon. Some people might not realize this, but Sven actually has less armor than those other two. He's got more health, bear in mind, but he does have 5 armor, where the other Knights here have 10. So bear that in mind. I don't often run Healing Joel. I don't often run Happy Hour Joel, but here we are. I think it works really well in this build because what it allows him to do, it spreads out that damage over time. And with the amount of healing that you're doing here, it really helps sustain the fights. It makes it so that they can't just burst down your units, and it allows guys like Sven and Luna, especially if she has a Mask of Madness, to just sustain their DPS for the entire fight and basically maintain that front line. Now, if you're against mages and spirits, which is you will be because spirits are fantastic, you need to get Disruptor, and you need to put Disruptor in for the Shadow Fiend. That'll counter some of the mages. If you end up getting something like a Refresher Orb, Disruptor is a great choice for that. But again, Sven, you want a Moonshard, and you want to get a Mask of Madness on Luna. Other than that, a very solid build. You can also run it with Eno or with an Essex, and if you're going to run it with Eno or an Essex, I do recommend a corner comped build. It does allow you the liberty of kind of evading some of the spirits and stuff like that and protecting some of your squishies. I do recommend Warlock in the corner here because he has the furthest attack range, and as you can see, the trolls have less of an attack range, so if you stack them like this, it allows them to attack a little more efficiently because he has 1 additional range over the trolls and the Necrophos. But overall, a great build. With the Joel variant, I do push them up front because we want to maintain that adjacency with Joel because it gives them that armor buff. But other than that, corner comping is also very effective with this build. As I mentioned in the first build, with the current meta, it's also very important that you are able to pivot into various different builds throughout the course of a game, and this build is a perfect example of that. Now, we're running several units that are very uncontested. First of all, Assassins as a whole are almost completely uncontested, and they're coming back for our 5th build. But right now, if we're running only 3 Assassins, which is actually totally fine, the adjustment made to Assassins actually makes them at a 75% wounded for against healing. That's fantastic. It's a pretty big buff, and it really helps your assassins to put a damper on rear line healers. But the major thing you want to do here is you want to run a very good front line. I do recommend aggressive tank Joel here, just because he's able to sustain this front line with these particular units. You're not running healing tank because, well, we got no healing here. The other thing is we're running people like Slark, generally uncontested, but TA as well. This is a build that you have to level up very aggressively for, but it allows you to carry the early game with people like Slardar, Luna, and Juggernaut. Now, you might be thinking, Alex, there's a lot of late tier units in there. That's because you're going to be running Pudge before you get Tidehunter. You're going to be running Chaos Knight before you get Sven. And before you get, Slark and TA, you're probably going to run something like this. You're probably going to run your Dragons, and then what you'll do is you'll add one of them, probably TA first, because I like TA I'll take a one star TA over a 1-star Slark, and then now you got yourself a completed build, and then you get the Tide, you replace him with the Pudge, and then you get your Sven, and then so forth, so on and so forth, right? But anyways, it's a very good build. It's one that, again, keep an eye on the shop. It also helps to counter your spirits and mages that you see so frequently. Partially my fault, I'm sorry, but they're damn good. And because you got the 50% magic resistance on scaled. Yes, full scaled. A lot of people don't think about going full scale, but it's naturally built into this build with core units that help you do a fantastic amount of DPS in what is honestly a very balanced build from start to finish. I know that I've brought up transitioning multiple times in this video already, but no alliance does it better than Druids. Keep that in mind. If you ever need to do a hard pivot, you can kind of rely on Druids a little bit, but this is a build that I've been working on that I think takes advantage of a lot of the Druids and a lot of the potential that they have in this current meta. Because remember, Druids giving each other that free star bonus, it helps you to avoid that draft pool a little bit and focus on the units that you really do need to focus on. So anyways, this build is a very good build because you're getting the Savage bonus that will apply to the summoners that you bring out here. I do recommend that you go healing support and Essex here because, of course, of the fact that she summons, a little archer that does get this benefit. You're also going to get the golem that gets this benefit as well. You're running uncontested units like Venomancer, quite straightforward to 3-star, honestly. Nature's Prophet, not being contested at all, to be honest with you, and you don't see a lot of Doom either. If you end up getting an Axe, I do recommend you bring in Axe for Doom. I do not recommend you actually break up the Savage bonus here as much as you might be tempted to, because it's very important that your summons have the Savage bonus, so that is key there. You are running Lycan. Lycan's fantastic as well, and Magnus is a core staple from the early game. Now, overall, you can run Io as well if you're, if you're lacking, say, the lone druid and you want a 4th druid in there. But honestly, Io's the druid that you honestly don't run here. He's not going to have that much of an impact. But druids have had a remarkable ability in this current meta to kind of help you pivot and sustain a very, very strong mid and early game. The problem with this build is that there is one problem, I should say, is that it loses a little strength at the end game. 6 mages will beat this build. Spirits will beat this build. It's a build that it's going to get you to 3rd or 2nd, but you really need some strong RNG to get to 1st place, so please bear that in mind. If you're looking to rank up and you want a few safe 4th, 3rd, and 2nd finishes, you can take this build there, but it can be very difficult to finish it. You're going to need a Refresher Orb on Lone Druid, and you're going to need some good RNG. Sith of the Vise for Nature's Prophet, for instance. That'll make a big difference. You need to get a Void Stone early for Venomancer. If you have those key items, you can do it, but it is quite an uphill battle at the end of the game. And for the final build of the week, it is Assassins and Spirits. And you're thinking, Alex, how many spirit builds are you going to show me today? I'm going to show you as much as necessary to help you understand that spirits are fantastic right now. There's a lot of core things happening here that are important, though, and I want to explain. First of all, we are going to 6 Assassins. You're doing this when Assassins are uncontested, and they almost always are. I cannot believe people are not going Assassins. Even 3 Assassins is damn good right now. And you could honestly get these units almost completely uncontested. Ember Spirit, you might have to fight for. No one's going Queen. TA is, in a few builds here and there. No, people are passing on Slark. It's crazy right now. I cannot believe people are sleeping on Assassins right now. You're getting Spirits, and the way you've got this set up, by the way, and of course you got Voids. The way you've got this set up, you have it so that Nyx Assassin is one of your 6 spirits, and what you want to do is you're kind of stacking stuns here. So you have him set up so any opposing team is going to focus on Nyx Assassin first. He's going to proc his Spiked Carapace, which is going to stun them. It's going to give your spirits more time to get their mana up and Delta Slam. You don't want them getting burned down. You also have all-out attack Eno. He's going to be applying a stun as well. You are silencing with the Earth Spirit. There's a lot going on here, and that's kind of the point of this. You're also locking people down with Faceless Void and his Chrono Cube. At the end of the day, this build can absolutely wreck any composition in the current meta, and it's just a matter of getting to the 6 Assassins. You have to do this only if Assassins are uncontested. If you're finding contention, go 3 Assassins, add in Warriors, find other ways to do it, right? Roll with it. Just roll with it. But if they're uncontested, go for it, because this is a fantastic build. Mages can't counter it. Spirit mages can't counter it, because if you have the Tide Hunters up front, these guys are just hopping over them, right? And Tide Hunter is going to get caught in the Delta Slam. So it's a very, very, very effective build. It does require some core items like Mask of Madness on the Slark. You might want to get something like Battle Fury or Blink Dagger for the Ember Spirit. You want to make sure you have a Vanguard or something for the Earth Spirit, and you want to make sure that even an Octarine, honestly, on Storm Spirit can do a ton of work. But overall, it's a fantastic build, one that I hope you have success with, because honestly, I still cannot believe how many games I'm in where nobody's going Assassins, and I think to myself, damn it, Alex, you should have went Assassins. Anyways, guys, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I will be more than happy to answer them. And thank you so much for watching, and a very special thank you to all of my wonderful subscribers. Take care, everyone, and I hope that these builds help you find success in Dota Underlords.